Hello everybody, welcome back to Beacon Pines Part 3. We found out that Gran may be part of something no good, so we are gonna go and investigate.
Secret lair. Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder. Luka walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
What time is it? Yep, gotta put the sweater back on. Oh gosh. The knocking scares me for some reason. Rollo, what on earth is that? Huh? Oh, it's a hat. A detective's hat. That ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this? It helps me think. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast is clear? Yep, whatever she's been up to this week, it's been keeping her busy most of the day. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luka and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I were a Gran, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Aha!
He coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Or maybe that's what she wants you to think. Then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First, hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, it may already be too late. Just think of the mounds of documents lost to ash. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luka, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Upstairs. Yeah, the closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's locked. Well, well, well. Look who stands to reason now. And I have no idea where the key is. If it really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm going to take this important thing and huck it in a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. But it doesn't matter anyway, I can't reach that latch.
A look of realization crept onto Luka's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
Alright, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Ah, yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall proceed with...
Before he could finish, Luka scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick. And every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it.
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah, I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey, let me just yank on this random teacup and...
As Beck pulled on one of the teacups, it slanted forward with a hollow click. The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Oh. Secret door. Seems like your gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only 2 types of people have secret lairs. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So which one do we think she is? We're about to find out. Okay, so more of an unhinged conspiracist vibe. Oh, wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. We need to look around before jumping to conclusions. Okay.
Luka jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter. For a long moment, he just stared at it.
What do you got there? It's my dad. Looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luka nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of it? One sec. Dense documents such as this are a lot like a cheeseburger. It's best to keep straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live. Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of the preeminent scholar in dense documents. And cheeseburgers. By all means, proceed.
He stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terrence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. Malaise. Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscles and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Mrs. Wilby just a few days past. Still waiting on lab results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up with heightened surprise.
See? Creepy. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nuncreed's name. Oh. Wait.
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
There's more scribbled in the margins. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something else.
Rollo scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. The disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast. And with his wife passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind. Exacerbated by the loss. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own hands.
Luka, staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Rollo rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
That's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luka frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luka, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean, enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is bullshit.
Luka slammed the drawer shut. A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Well, she sure has kept herself busy. Is your gran a serial killer? 'Cause I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town. Out of the kindness of her heart. She put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nuncreed has a checkmark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My mom's are both on here. both with question marks. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Eris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Kerr has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim. We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. Yeah, probably not good. Ooh. Oh my gosh, it's the watermelon all over again. I don't think I'm getting anything out of it though. What do we have here? Barrels marked caution explosive. And jam jars? That's enough jam to feed the whole town. They're not jam. What kind of incendiary jam is your grand making? What kind of incendiary What kind of incendiary jam is your grand making? She wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs, right? Only one way to find out.
Rollo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam.
Huckleberries.
He smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar? And ink? What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
Aha!
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luka and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Miss Fratelli. A grand jam gam? A grand jam gram. It says, last night I used the disguise Eris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So more of a bombshell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here.
They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool, this looks like a treasure map. Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. It starts at the entrance to town. And if we follow it...
Rollo carefully traced the path with his finger.
It leads right to...
He jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square? That's the fountain in the middle of town. What a weird place to hide treasure. Rollo, that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of the path on that map has the same symbol as those explosives over there. So it's not hiding treasure? A real bummer. Rollo, what's the thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival. Gulp. Did you just say gulp? This feels like a gulp kind of situation. Everyone will be gathered near the center of town. Ooh. She's gonna blow up the festival? Not if we stop her. Oh, snap. What was that?
Luka looked up from the map.
What was that? No, I heard it too. That was the front door. Which means someone just shut the door. Which means someone's upstairs. Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark. Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall. Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other. A muffled male voice broke the silence.
Oh no. Hello? Ah. It's Haram.
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and a voice now echoed down the stairs.
Anyone down there?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step.
Yoo-hoo! I'm not here to hurt anyone. I'm just here to help. Just...
At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
Huh. Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly.
What's he doing in our house?
Luka gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Flaming chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo? Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Well, I didn't know if I had it in me, but there was only one way to find out. Holy crap, Rollo, that was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luka scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luka and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver?
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver. Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luka's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
I like hard cop interrogation. Okay.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times. Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luka gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Now hold on, let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luka's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or, well, let's just say I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
You tied me down. How on earth could I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. What? Spill the beans. What are you doing poking around this house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran? Gran.
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, eh? Oh, what if he's not even part of this? And he's just spilling the beans? Blow up the festival? Good lord.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where
His voice faded to a whisper.
the town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold. Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Damn, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began. We need more information. Yeah, but we'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. No, that tent was put up by the Valentines. Everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about this source thing, Cato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. This is a dang nice library. Thanks, we work hard on it. Aren't you a little young to be a librarian? Oh, Cato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys. I just keep an eye on the place for Miss Novak sometimes. They got you working for free? It's quiet and I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want? Fair enough. What can I do for you all? We need a favor. Already told you and Rollo. I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience. Actually, we're looking to do some research. Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for? That's the thing, we sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town? There's the county record archives. What's in those? Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded. Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8. 6 feet under, 3 towns over. The kids spent the rest of the afternoon combing through dusty piles of old county records, desperately searching for anything that could help them make sense of Mr. Tolliver's cryptic utterance. Luka tried to shake the thought of Gran's basement, but his focus wavered. Explosives, messages hidden in jam, dossiers on various town figures, and a corkboard threaded with photos. Gran was the only family he had left. He still couldn't bring himself to believe the worst. But the old map with the symbol of explosives in town square made that difficult. As the sun began to set, the kids were no closer to the truth.
If I have to read any more records, my eyeballs are gonna pop. We have to keep digging. If I dig another word, I'm gonna end up in one of these asinine death records. Rollo Cotter lived a full and wonderful life, till he read so much boring crud that his brain oozed out of his ears.
Rollo shut his book with an assertive nod.
If you've got a better idea, spread it out. You sound like my sister. Keep pushing your luck, pal. And it won't be boring county records that kill you. I'll put you in the obituaries myself.
Rollo muttered under his breath.
You're a county record. Really? That's the best you've got? When I'm done with you, you'll be the footnote in history. Just like...
Beck slammed her finger down on the open page before glancing down to read.
J. Hartford here. I'd love to see you try. Hey, hey, hey. We're all a little tired here. Let's just take a minute and...
Something tickled the back of Luka's mind.
Wait, what was that name back? In the J. Hartford? From the Brookville Tribune 20 years ago? That can't be right. What is it? J. Hartford. That's my grand's name, Juniper Hartford. Maybe there were 2 J. Hartfords? Mrs. Hartford is survived by her young daughter, E. Hartford. Oh. My mom's name is Eleanor. Okay, this is getting creepy. If your gran is 6 feet under 3 towns over, then who am I? Oh gosh. Then who am I living with?
The question hung in the air.
Oh, that is creepy. Alright, gang, I gotta close up for the night.
Beck rubbed her eyes.
How late is it? Almost 10. It looks like it's sunny out. Oh crap, Pa's gonna kill me. I gotta go. Yeah, my parents will be worried sick. Okay, let's meet up as early as we can at the festival tomorrow. What are you gonna do about the unconscious man in your basement? I'll think of something.
Luka's heart was pounding as he approached the house. If he was lucky, Gran, or whoever it was, hadn't gotten back yet. And of course, there was Mr. Tolliver tied up and unconscious in the basement.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dealing with him would be the first order of business. Luka shook out his arms to calm his nerves before entering.
Oh, this is scary music.
Perfectly still, tempering his breath, and to listen closely. She was asleep. His only hope was that she hadn't found Mr. Tolliver before dozing off.
Okay, let's go check on him. Oh my gosh, you guys didn't even put this back. Oh no.
Mr. Tolliver was nowhere to be seen.
Well, you can't expect him to just stay there. Maybe he woke up, escaped from his bindings, and left without a trace.
Or maybe Gran knew everything.
What do I do?
Luka's hungry stomach groaned. Not realizing it, he'd gone the entire day without eating.
Okay, I can figure this out. Just need a little brain food.
Luka rushed over to the pile of jam jars, unscrewed one, and shoveled a handful into his mouth.
Don't eat that. I'm afraid your jam delivery will be delayed.
He flipped the lid to read the label.
Mr. Nuncreed. Okay, now I can think. So if Gran knows we tied up Mr. Tolliver, I'm screwed. If she doesn't know, then I need to play it cool. I guess the only option is to go to bed and act as if nothing is wrong. Gran will think Mr. Tolliver finished what he was sent to do and left when he was done. Alright, let's go to sleep. But I don't know why you don't want to put this back. That's super suspicious. Oh. Guys. Gran? Okay, stick to the plan. Go to bed and play cool. Oh, she's gonna be up there.
As Luka climbed the final stair, the emotion of the day dragged heavily on him. With each consecutive step, his legs weakened. His stride began to falter. He tried to grab for the railing to steady himself. Something was wrong.
Come on, legs. Just a few more steps.
Luka groaned and tried to move.
It's the jam.
His limbs might as well have been bolted to the ground. Through numb lips, he mumbled just before falling asleep.
The jam? Well, I did go to sleep. Sweet boy. What did you get yourself into? Rest now and let me handle everything. Oh, gosh, guys.
Chapter 9. A speech to end all speeches. Luka awoke to find himself face down in bed. He moaned into his pillow. Why would Gran drug him? Or rather, why was she trying to drug Mr. Nuncreed? Shaking the questions from his woozy head, Luka snapped back to the matter at hand.
The festival. Yeah, gotta get your little booty out there. There's the gang. Where have you been? Gran put something in the jam. Yeah, we know. Secret messages for secret conspirators. Not this one, the one intended for Mr. Nuncreed. Put me to sleep. Whoa ho ho. Sly devil. Sly. I think she's trying to remove him from the equation. He might be in danger. Have you found anything? We looked around but haven't seen anything odd. Your Gran is nowhere to be found. But Mr. Nuncreed is just loafing around waiting for the speech. What speech? Mary Gus just got up to the podium. Everyone is gathering at the stage. Let's get moving.
Augustus Valentine nervously wiped his brow.
Hello Beacon Pines. I'm Augustus Valentine, your mayor, and I suppose you already know that. Oh yes, before we get started, I just wanted to take a moment to recognize someone who couldn't be here today. This town wouldn't be where it is today without my father, Sharper Valentine. So I thought we could begin with a round of applause befitting such a great man. Even that's more than the old codger deserved.
Gus cleared his throat and awkwardly loosened his tie.
Right, where was I?
William Kerr bounded on the stage with the energy of a preacher at a big tent revival.
Gus Valentine, everyone.
He gave Gus a hearty slap on the back and motioned him off the stage.
Let's hear it for our mayor. What a great turnout. Ah, heck, I didn't prepare anything. But I suppose I could say a few words. Would be ashamed to waste such a beautiful podium.
Mr. Kerr pulled a thick stack of note cards out from his vest.
Oh, jeez. Community, conviction, commitment. These are the things we celebrate at perennial harvests. For us, these are the pillars of the bridge to a better tomorrow. But I think it's time to add a new pillar. Change. Change is a powerful thing. It's inexorable, unavoidable, and undeniable. And I am dadgum thankful for it. Change is the reason we're all together today. It's hard for me to believe that it was only 4 years ago when fate brought me here. A simple business trip which brought me to a small town which would change my life forever.
Mr. Kerr took a moment to survey the crowd.
You know what?
He wiped away a single tear.
From the second I set foot in Beacon Pines, something about this place has held me captive. You see, change represents opportunity. It represents potential. It was change that helped me recognize the potential of this place. To see that the people of this town, despite suffering's great loss, still held on to the things that made them special.
He thumped the podium to emphasize each word.
Community, conviction, commitment. Change.
Mr. Kerr nodded confidently, biting his lip. The crowd was silent, in rapt attention.
Fate made a perfect match that day. Nothing is more important to you all than community. And Perennial harvest is a community first and foremost.
Mr. Kerr methodically made eye contact with each section of the crowd.
The only way you made it through the foul harvest was unshakable conviction. A conviction that a better tomorrow was just over the horizon. Perennial harvest was founded on the conviction that we are that horizon. This festival is a symbol of our commitment to each other.
His voice began to build to a crescendo.
We now walk in hand into a future we will shape together. And that is what change is all about. Grabbing the future by the scruff of the neck and making things happen. Change is a choice. I am tickled pink that we will all be making that choice together. How great is that? Just imagine what we can accomplish. Oh, snap. What was that?
The crowd began to look around nervously.
Don't worry, a little thunder isn't going to ruin this day. Everyone remain calm.
Mr. Kerr quickly flicked through his note cards.
Where was I? Through all of my travels, I have learned one true thing. One always reaps what they sow. We have all planted a lot of good in this town. And so, it is with a happy heart that I can proclaim.
He raised his hands up to the heavens.
Our harvest awaits. No.
At that moment, a merciless wall of impossibly cold air ripped through the crowd, instantly freezing everyone and everything it touched. For a man like William Kerr, this was a fitting way for things to end.
What? He wanted to die as well?
On a stage, with an entire town frozen in rapt attention for the rest of time. The end.
What?
There's that ice again! Whenever I think we're getting close, it comes along and ruins everything. Maybe we should just quit?
No.
Maybe you should just close the book, walk away, and never think of me again.
Don't be dramatic.
No, I don't mean that. We got a little closer this time. We just need to try again. Please.
Okay, we will. Okay, we're gonna be chill this time. Wait, no. We're gonna be sly this time.
They'd run the classic good cop, sly cop interrogation. Luka and Rollo ducked behind a barrel, leaving Beck to her task. With a few crisp snaps, she roused Mr. Tolliver.
Oh, it's with Beck this time. What? What's going on here? You're that Moodwell girl. Please call me back. Sorry about all of this.
Mr. Tolliver looked down and shifted a bit, testing his restraints.
It seems there's been a mix-up. You see, I'm down here for the same reason you are. Juniper sent you here?
Beck caught herself before letting the surprise manifest on her face. She'd already gotten him to reveal his relation to Gran. This was going to be easy.
You know how Juniper is with her precautions. Operation Sparkplug has us all on edge. I guess she thought you needed some backup. But she sent a child? What better way to avoid prying eyes? Who would suspect a kid? I suppose that makes sense.
Mr. Tolliver wriggled a bit in his restraints.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Beck quickly removed the ropes.
That had to be uncomfortable. A little, yeah. But you understand. We never know who to trust in this town.
Mr. Tolliver rubbed the growing knot on his forehead.
Very true. So it turns out we're both here too.
Beck twirled her hand, as if to prompt Mr. Tolliver to finish her thought.
Destroy the evidence.
Beck shook her head and clicked her tongue.
Yep, the old gal is nothing if not thorough.
Mr. Tolliver let out an amused huff in agreement.
She sure is. Can't blame her though. If anyone were to find out that we're going to destroy the source, well, we both know how bad that might be. No one will know anything once I finish cleaning things up down here.
Beck was on a roll now, playing Mr. Tolliver like a fiddle.
You're sure you can finish this up on your own? Juniper trusted me for a reason. You can leave the rest to me. Good, there is one more loose end I'll go work on. Loose end? Oh, it's nothing really. The other day I had the radio on scan while restocking the candy shelf. And wouldn't you know it, I intercepted an odd phrase in a perennial harvest transmission. Underground secrets. That's ominous. I think it might be a password, but Juniper dismissed it. Said it wasn't mission critical. What's the password for? We don't know. So we have a password and nowhere to put it. It's gotta mean something, right? Good thinking. You should probably go work that out. I've got this under control. That's a relief. Between you and me, this basement gives me the willies.
Heading for the stairs, Mr. Tolliver hesitated and turned to Beck with a puzzled look. She grinned and gave him a peppy wave. With a shrug, he continued up the stairs, whistling a jaunty tune.
You guys catch that? Sure did. This whole time, Mr. Tolliver's had a candy shelf. But all he ever sells us is apples.
Beck blinked slowly in disappointment.
The password, Rollo. Well, sure, but once things are back to normal, I'll be having a word with Mr. Tolliver about that candy shelf. Fine. In the meantime, I've got an idea.
She turned to the table and began tearing small scraps of paper.
He said he heard a password on the radio. Any good spy transmission is never what it seems.
Beck marked each scrap of paper and leaned back.
We just need to find the hidden meaning. Okay. What's another word for underground? Buried? Covered? Could it be cover-up? Maybe it's one of those each letter is a number thingies? So you would be 21. Hey, that's my favorite number. 21. N would be 14. D would be... Oh, it's an anagram. Nuncreed's drugstore.
Luka and Beck looked at Rollo with amazement.
Rollo, that was incredible. Well, it's either that or Crin's nude rug store. Yeah, I think you were right the first time. How did you do that? What can I say? I love ciphers. Well, I guess we know where to go next. Oh, crap. She's there. You scared me half to death. Sorry. You kids haven't seen Mr. Tolliver around, have you? Nope. He's got me waiting around like the last slice of pie. I swear that man would be late to his own funeral. You're late, Augustus. Sorry, sister. Was caught up with work. Work? You? I had a few more details to lock down for the festival. Oh, what do you have to report? What is this insipid town festival really about?
Gus looked around nervously.
I think Mr. Kerr really does just want to do something good for the town. He's actually a pretty nice guy. You should spend some time with him. I didn't pull strings installing you as mayor so that you can make friends. Your job is to help me figure out what Kerr and Perennial Harvest's true intentions are with this town. We have a responsibility. This is our father's town. Was. Excuse me? This was our father's town. He's gone, Harris, and he isn't coming back. Father left us with nothing but problems. Mr. Kerr came here and offered to help us. We accepted that help. We didn't agree to them turning Father's warehouse into a toxic dumping ground. That is just a temporary arrangement. The glow can be seen from our damn backyard. They are dumping their nasty little secrets on us. When this all inevitably goes wrong, When this all inevitably goes wrong, who do you think will be blamed?
Eris's cry hung in the air.
We have a new choice to make now, sister. The town is going to change, whether we like it or not. Are we going to choose to be a part of that future? Or be forgotten in the past? It's a shame. Father named you Augustus, but you will always just be a Gus. Good night, Eris. I'll see you at breakfast tomorrow. No wonder he's so sad. He gets bullied by the sister. It's getting late, children. I honestly forgot where to go. Nun creates drugstore. Oh yeah, that's right. Tell me. Knowledge, he spat with a sneer. There exists a gulf between knowing something and being able to do a damn thing about it. I do hate it when the villain makes a good point. Oh crap. Oh. Oh, it's Solomon.
Solomon stood proudly at the entrance to the drugstore, holding a brown bag overflowing with black licorice.
Oh, black licorice? Sorry, I hate black licorice. Hey, Solomon. We're looking for Mr. Nuncreed. Is he still in there? I'm afraid not. Then where'd you get the candy from? You might say we have an arrangement.
Solomon shoveled a surprising amount of licorice into his mouth.
Sometimes it's the small pleasures in life, though we might not always have family to rely on. Licorice has never let me down. Well, I can't say licorice would be my first choice, but whatever floats your boat. You can tell a lot about a person by their choice of confection. Oh, yeah, I guess. I like sour gobs. I'm certain you do. I always wondered why Mr. Nuncreed kept licorice in stock. You must eat enough of it to make it worthwhile. There are many ways to earn loyalty. For some, it's as easy as cold hard cash. Well, he's right, it's locked. There's gotta be more clues. Okay, let's see. Okay. Have you ever seen anyone actually use this thing? Besides Mr. Nuncreed? No. Oh, he's the only one that uses that?
Beck cupped her hands on the glass to peek inside.
That is not a normal phone booth. It's got like a blinky keypad. Why would there be a blinky keypad? Crin's nude rug store. I mean, underground secrets. The password.
Beck flung open the door and they all squeezed in.
All right, let's see here.
Luka cracked his knuckles and entered the letters into the keypad.
Sounds like that did something. Great, now what? I guess we... Oh.
The inside of the phone booth dropped loose from its shell. Without even the space to panic, they closed their eyes, held their breath, and accepted their fate. Suddenly, the chaotic descent slowed to an effortless landing. It was unclear where they ended up, but at least it was solid ground. The air was stagnant and smelled vaguely of chlorine.
I knew it. You knew that there was a secret hub full of strange tubes under the phone booth? Of course I did. Didn't I say that? No, I definitely thought it. Luka, do you remember when I said how cool it would be if the trans-dimensional conduits from Hank Atomic issue 12 were real? Rollo, at one point or another, you said that about every technology ever discussed in Hank Atomic. That's why I'm such a good predictor. It looks like each of these has something written on them. Mining Operations Alpha. You guys have mines here? Not that I know of. This town is all farms and fertilizer, and a series of tubes. Pa always says you can only trust a miner up to the point when they hit gold. Not sure how that wisdom applies in this exact situation. That's the thing about Pa, you don't always realize what he means until it's too late. Reno Harvest main office. Huh. Oh, that's a hazmat suit in the corner right there. That's where my mom works. What does she do? Sign stuff? Is she involved in all of this? We just moved here. How could she be involved? True. Valentine Fertilizer Warehouse. Isn't that where you almost got snatched? Yeah. Why would a perennial harvest have a tube going to the old Valentine place? This is starting to feel like something big. This suit has a broken mask. So, have we found our mystery warehouse creeper? We've at least found their hazmat suit. If it walks like Nuncreed and talks like Nuncreed, let's not jump to conclusions. Just saying. That's a lot of buttons. Stand aside, Earthlings. I've read enough Hank Atomic to know my way around sci-fi tech.
Rollo's hands hovered over the field of blinking buttons.
Eeny, meeny, miny. Rollo, what did you do? Nothing. I didn't even mow yet. What was that? Hide. Where? There's nothing but weird tubes down here. Just get back. Shit. 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 Awesome. You all need to come with me now. We aren't going anywhere with you. Not until we get some answers. Mr. Underground's secrets. I told them it was an absurd password. But they love anything that makes them feel clever. They who? That's no matter. If I can keep you hidden until after the festival, I might be able to save your skins. We don't care about our skins. Hold on now, I like my skin. This all stops now, Nuncreed.
Joseph waited for a moment in silence.
You sound just like him. Who? Walt. You don't get to talk about my dad. You know, your father and I were friends back before.
He gestured toward the strange tubes.
All of this? Oh my gosh. That's a lie. It's true, I used to bounce you on my knee. What happened? Same thing that always happens. Reality, complications, life. We were a team, Walt and I. An idealistic doctor and a bright-eyed pharmacist. Both hell-bent on helping folks. So you were his sidekick? No. We were partners. He helped the patients and I helped him. Yep, total sidekick.
Nuncreed let out a growl of a sigh.
Luka, I need you to know this. I need someone to know this. One day, Sharper Valentine comes to us. Says he's got an opportunity. He'd found something he didn't quite understand. And he was willing to pay us both handsomely to help him understand it. And my dad said no. Your father and I both believed in helping people. But the thing I could never get him to understand was, it's a lot easier to help others if you help yourself now and then. Classic sidekick into villain plotline. Walt loved being righteous, almost more than he loved his family. He was wrong about one thing, though. When he begged me not to take Valentine's offer, he said, "Joseph, if a person says yes one time to Sharper Valentine, he'll make sure they keep on saying yes to him until the day he's dead and gone."
He shook his head wistfully.
Sharper's long gone, but he's still got me saying yes. Is there a point to this sob story? Not really, no. Just an old man trying to delay what needs doing. Oh, what are you gonna do?
Nuncreed took a menacing step towards the children.
I tried to keep you safe. Did you really? I tried to keep you and Juniper out of this, but you forced my hand.
Luka began to laugh.
What? You really don't know? My gran isn't out of this. She's been scheming right under your nose. Juniper? Seems like she's planning on crashing the town's party. She's going to disrupt the festival? Why would she?
The color drained from Nuncreed's face.
How does she know? Apparently she knows a lot of things. What? Let's just say this isn't the only underground lair we've busted into today. And honestly, hers is way cooler. Yep, it is. She's got maps and explosives and bad intentions, big man. Should we be telling him this?
Nuncreed grabbed Luka by the shoulders. His eyes were frantic.
You need to tell me what she's going to do right now. No! She doesn't understand what it is she's messing with. Tell me now she's in danger, boy. I don't know. She had a map with a mark on the fountain in town square. The fountain? But why would...
A jolt of realization struck Mr. Nuncreed.
She knows about the source. What the heck is the source? If she tries to destroy the source, it could catalyze and, dear God, she's going to freeze us all. Oh, so maybe that's what happened. She froze us all. From the other ending. You all need to run. Run where? Away. As far away from this town as you can get. Head west and don't look back. That did not go how I expected. So, we're totally following him, right? Totally. See you on the other side. You good? Yep. I love this sound. I love Beck.
Chapter 8. The Cold, Hard Truth. Beck leapt up, allowing the suction to yank her into the dark. Dimness eclipsed around her like the shutter of a camera, as she seemed to cover great distance in mere moments. Her only points of reference were glints of upcoming turns, which approached with frightening speed, only to carom her gracefully along. She heard the tinny, distant echoes of Rollo's glee. Once she stopped fighting against it, the ride was impossibly smooth. Then, all of a sudden, as if minutes had passed in an instant, light blazed into view. A burst of wintry air snuffed across her face, and she was flung out into the cold.
Jeez, where are we? It's winter. That was intense. Yeah, I think I might have parted with some fluids in there. Oh my gosh, Rollo. Any idea where we are? It's somewhere cold. Doesn't look like it got on any of us. It didn't feel like we traveled that far. So where did it all go? This place sucks. Why would anyone even want to blow something up out here? Only one way to find out, I suppose. We've got to catch up to Nuncreed. I think he went this way. Okay, let's go. Oh. What? This looks familiar. Yeah. Maybe we can clear off the snow? No time. Nuncreed's getting away. Is this... An alternate universe? It totally is. Okay, this is starting to feel really familiar. I may not be the most well-versed in all things Beacon Pines, but this does look like some sort of frozen replica of town. Ah, I got it. It's so obvious now. Mr. Nuncreed is an alien. Him and an alien. Rollo, stick with me here. His species can only live in sub-zero temperatures. Oh boy, here we go. The source is their base camp dimension, so naturally they keep it cold. We found it by traveling through those metallic wormholes back there. The final objective, kill us all and shapeshift into Beacon Pines citizens of their choosing. You never really had me, but you very much lost me there. You get used to it. We should keep moving. This is crazy, you guys.
As they rounded the corner to the frozen town square, they spotted Mr. Nuncreed inching cautiously toward a pit at its center. He held his arms out gingerly, as if approaching a beast in the wild.
What? Oh! He is catching Gran in the act.
Upon closing the distance, Luka recognized what Nuncreed was after. Gran stood confidently at the edge, one arm outstretched over the abyss. Nearby, a wheelbarrow had been emptied out. She held a lit torch, which flickered in the bitter wind.
Juniper, I don't know what you think you're doing, but I assure you this is not going to solve anything. If you drop that, you've doomed this whole town. Oh, it wasn't me who doomed this town. I've been watching you, Joseph. I know what you've done. You and your co-conspirators. Gran? What's happening? Luka, you and your friends need to leave right this moment.
Mr. Nuncreed turned back toward the kids, desperation in his eyes.
Listen to your grandma, Luka. This is between me and Jupiter.
Rollo and Beck held steadfast in awe. Luka approached closer. Mr. Nuncreed spun back toward Gran, his voice growing louder.
You got it all wrong, Juniper. Just hand over that torch. You don't understand what you're doing. How could I possibly trust you to do the right thing? Walt told me everything. He trusted you, and you betrayed that trust. Luka, did you know that this man's entire life is a lie? If it weren't for him, your father might still be alive.
Mr. Nuncreed winced with anguish. His voice hardened.
That's not true.
They both now yelled, not to each other, but at fate itself, making their peace with long-held burdens. The wind howled with encouragement.
Walt was like a brother to me. We just had different ideas about how to affect change. Very convenient that your way just happened to line your pockets. Now that's not fair.
They menaced at each other, both catching their breath. The moment balanced on a knife's edge.
Oh my gosh, guys.
It's getting emotions and memories. Luka's mind flooded with questions.
It's getting intense.
The wind calmed, as if to give him the stage.
Oh, weep. We're gonna cry.
In the stillness, he began to weep. It was all just too much. Falling to his knees, Luka whimpered softly. The tears crystallized as they hit the snow. Gran stared at Luka for a moment with warm sympathy, remembering why this was all necessary.
This will all make sense soon, Luka. Then everything can go back to normal. I promise.
She stiffened up and brandished the torch at Mr. Nuncreed.
You can't hide behind those people any longer, Joseph. Once their precious source is destroyed, we'll see where their loyalties fall. Juniper, don't.
Ignoring his final plea, Gran flung the torch into the deep darkness. She smiled and exhaled in relief. Mr. Nuncreed moaned in resignation. The torch echoed as it ricocheted down the hole, punctuated with a thunderous thud.
You see, Joseph, I've learned one very important lesson in life. If you want things to change, then you must be willing to.
Before Gran could finish, the ground shook her to silence. Gran only had time to spin around and run to Luka. Her attempt to shield him, an honorable but trifling act. Unflinching love, pitted against an unthinking horror. There was no contest. Her warm embrace froze in an instant. That is where they remain, fixed in place, forever. And so, our story ends on this melancholy scene.
Oh, we got the very sad ending.
In a town brought low by its secrets, sits the frozen statues of a misguided band of meddlers. The end. Well, that was dire. On the bright side, we finally figured out where all the ice is coming from.
Yep.
Now, we just need to find a way to deal with a mystic, unfathomable force of nature.
Okay. I am curious about what if we chose chill?
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I'll handle this, just gotta play it cool.
Luka walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, I sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luka, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luka, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Mistakes happen. You kids give old Haram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luka glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do I know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luka, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just, all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town, an archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes,
Luka gestured to the corner.
barrels of explosives. I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luka looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luka began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This'll all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luka. Oh, he's gonna make a run for it. A very dark past, indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that might be brought
He
to
punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there and let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luka opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end.
Oh, wow.
Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a basement. Back to the drawing board.
Oh, so that's what would happen if I chose chill. Well, so I am guessing the left side of this tree branch right here leads to the bad ending. And we are only halfway up towards the good ending, hopefully. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way back to what looks like the fight with Iggy. And those of you that watched the first episode that I did, we chose Strange, and Luka ended up pushing Iggy into the green ooze and he became this monster. So I guess we're gonna go all the way back to tickling him.
Well, time to bust out the tickles.
Hey Tish, wanna see something cool? Yup. Check it.
Beck lunged forward and began to tickle under Tish's arms.
What the? Tish, is she tickling you? Yup. Yup. Yup.
Tears began to form in Tish's eyes as she gasped for breath between gales of laughter.
Yup.
Beck redoubled her efforts until Tish finally had had enough.
Yup. What just happened? She seems nice. Sorry for the interruption. I think you were just threatening us.
Iggy's eyes darted around, a realization dawning on his face that he was now outnumbered.
I just remembered. I have nowhere to be. Oh wait, sorry. I think it said somewhere to be. See you around, new kid.
Iggy kicked at the puddle before making his escape.
No, we got it on Beck. Beck, I think you got a little ooze in your hair.
Beck shook the ooze out of her hair as best as she could.
Is it bad? It depends. What are your feelings about having a more mature, refined look? Oh God.
Chapter 4. The Best Policy. Luka paused for a moment, catching his breath. He'd only just met Beck, and somehow he already managed to drag her into this mess. Hopefully he could make it up to her. But finding Rollo was his primary concern.
Luka, what the hell are you doing out here? And why did a kid with gray hair just run past us in a panic?
Roxy and Fitz looked drained. It was clear they'd spent all day searching.
I don't care who she is. What happened? We were just helping look for Rollo. That's right. Rollo went missing, and it was Luka and Beck that went to help look for Rollo. Luka, I need you to start telling me the truth.
Roxy's temper could often be dismissed as the impatience of an older sibling. But this was the most intense Luka had ever seen her. Her eyes were wild and unfocused, looking straight through Luka.
We're running out of time.
In a torrent of rambled words and tears, Luka broke down.
Rollo and I weren't just playing in Weepwood yesterday. We were investigating lights at the old Valentine warehouse. But someone was there in a strange suit, and we hid in the dumpster and had a heavy bag dropped on us. And I think it was a body. And so we ran, but we got split up. And I ran home. And it's all my fault. And now my best friend may never come back. Aww. Poor Luka. Just wow.
Roxy, still exhausted and angry, softened briefly as her eyes hunted the ground in thought. With a determined sigh, she looked up at Luka.
It's not your fault, Luka. Rollo's gonna be okay, I promise.
Roxy drew herself up.
I'm gonna fix this. Luka, go home. But I want to help. This is too dangerous for a kid. I can't just sit around. I have to do something.
Roxy tried to think of the safest place to send Luka.
You go back to that little treehouse you two like to play and wait there in case Rollo shows up. Sounds like a plan?
Luka wiped his cheeks and gave a quick nod.
You did the right thing telling me the truth. Now scoot. You really believe his story? What other option do we have? Things have been strange around here leading up to the festival. My dad has been acting weird lately. Well, weirder than normal.
Looking into the puddle, Roxy rubbed her arms to warm up.
Why is it so cold here? This place gives me the willies. Wait, is Hiram Fitz's dad? They're both squirrels.
Mr. Nuncreed jumped with a start.
Whoa, don't sneak up on an old fellow like that. Sorry. Who were you talking to? What?
Luka motioned to the phone booth.
Oh no, I was just checking because I thought I heard it ring. But the dang thing never does, of course. Yeah, I've never seen anyone use it, really. The whole thing's a waste of money, if you ask me. We know everything about you, Mr. Nuncreed. Any word from Rollo yet? Not yet. Long time for a boy to lose his way. Rollo knows those woods too well to get lost. I suppose you're right. Silly boy's antics have this whole town worried sick. Antics? We all know Rollo likes to play his little pranks. You think this is a prank? What other possible explanation could there be? He's not playing a prank, and he didn't get lost. Someone took him, I know it. How would you know that? Unless... Luka, is there something else that you know?
Mr. Nuncreed gently placed one of his substantial hands on Luka's shoulder.
Oh my gosh. Was it Mr. Nuncreed that tried killing him the first time that we did this? Dang it, boy, if there's something you know, something that could help your friend, you need to tell folks.
Luka peered up at Mr. Nuncreed. Kind eyes warmed a stern face. There was a deeper emotion hiding beneath it all. It was subtle, but Luka could sense something eating away at him. There was a shame lurking behind those eyes. A deep sadness. If Mr. Nuncreed was that worried about Rollo, maybe he could help.
Yesterday, Rollo and I were messing around at the old Valentine warehouse. Oh my gosh. It has to be Mr. Nuncreed that was there.
Mr. Nuncreed raised an eyebrow.
Both of you? Nuncreed definitely kidnapped Rollo. You were with Rollo when he went missing? Oh my gosh. Not exactly. I was hiding in the dumpster. The dumpster? What were you doing in there? At first we were just looking around. Then someone in a strange yellow suit came and dumped something on us. We both got scared and ran. That was last I saw of him. You got scared by some garbage? Well, that's why you don't go skulking in someone's dumpster. But it wasn't garbage. I think it was a body. I'm sure it was just some trash. No, there was a name tag. It said Deep Engineering.
Mr. Nuncreed's shoulders slumped.
I wish you wouldn't have... Oh no! Luka! I wish you wouldn't have said that.
A deep sigh bellowed from his chest.
Why did you have to? I tried, Luka. God knows I tried to keep you safe.
Luka attempted to take a step back, but Nuncreed's hand clamped down on his shoulder.
But you Van Horns just can't help yourselves, can you? We were all so close to being done with this.
With a firm shove, Nuncreed manhandled Luka into the phone booth.
What are you doing? It's out of my hands now.
The door latched shut with a mechanical hiss.
Shit.
As Luka pounded the glass, the floor dropped from under his feet. The inside of the phone booth was now a loose capsule plummeting at gravity's whim. Luka winced and pressed his hands to the walls. As he braced for impact, the capsule hurried to a surprisingly smooth stop. He felt a cold rush of air and opened his eyes with hesitance. Two large figures in hazmat suits occluded his view. Luka heard the deep, resigned voice of Mr. Nuncreed over an intercom. He knows too much. The end. Wait. No. This isn't the end. I know there's still much more. Somehow this went wrong. Okay, let's try something else.
Let's go to when we were at the treehouse with Iggy, and we were ambushed by a bunch of Pete and Tobies. We're gonna use flight.
Luka drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Eggy. See ya, jerks. Fine, we know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels.
Luka and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luka stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice. Chapter 5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luka's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luka pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
That was actually pretty badass. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the winter wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Meh. Still within safe ranges. It may be spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters under there. What town could this even be? There couldn't be another town this deep into Weepwood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. Step 1, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. In situations such as these, I find it best to chuck stuff first. and ask questions second. Okay. So... Luka, are you there?
Luka had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luka looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luka responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Oh, it was in the dumpster. Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom sure was a handful.
Luka winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
Oh my gosh. We gotta keep moving. Where am I supposed to go?
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. 2 faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Oh, I can make...
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. Where did all the snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. There's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hellscape. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? What the hell is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. So... it's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luka could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, you know, swim run. So, the green ooze, does it make things age fast? It just freezes things?
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luka went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled. The town is destroyed. And everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Yeah, you can't just quit, Iggy. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luka peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luka a sense of compassion and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luka allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
No, Poor guys. Out in the cold. The way the snow covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's bull hockey. First of all, you didn't know what that gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a horse's ass. You were supposed to be a horse's ass in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why would you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're an asshole because you're bored? Sometimes I just feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Roller are always having a blast together. Aw. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control. He's jealous. Man, why did he have to, be a butt about it, though? He could just totally just be friends with them.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luka Van Horn. With his perfect little life. My life is not perfect. Yeah, how could you say that, knowing that his parents are gone? Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Hell, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet, and even she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know? Yeah, all she says is yup.
Luka gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
Huh, it must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luka's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luka? Yeah? I always did want to see the inside of your dinky little treehouse. What do you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what?
That's all Luka could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
Aww. When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad. Bonding moment.
The house smelled of warm bread. Luka was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luka spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luka turned to see his own face, the doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. "Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this." The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. "It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you?" Luka snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. "Remember what?" The doppelganger pointed to the couch. "The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us." Luka turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. "That's not true. He didn't abandon us." The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. "Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Well, let me show you." The world flickered and pulsed. Luka was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. "No, we both know that's not how this went." He grabbed Luka's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luka heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. "Do you remember what we did next?" Luka gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. "Damn it, Walt. We can't afford to get involved in this." She was scared. His father stepped forward.
What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them.
Luka's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. I can't lose you. Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder.
What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this. Eleanor raised her voice.
Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son?
Luka flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. Luka? Is that you, buddy? With tears in his eyes, Luka descended the stairs. Mom? Dad? What's going on? Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luka eye to eye. Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all. Luka placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. It sounded like you were going somewhere? Walt gently removed the device from Luka's ears. Listen to me, Luka. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in. Luka hugged his father tightly. Promise? Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. I promise. With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun.
Oh, and that was the last time you saw him.
A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
Oh, it's a chinchilla? No, wait. I'm not sure what that is. Get your hands off me.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
Just what do you think you're doing?
Luka looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, wait. That's a possum. Okay, what's that supposed to mean? Take it easy, Iggy. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads. I'm sorry if I hurt you, Iggy. You didn't hurt nobody. Anybody. Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me? You...
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
You big-hatted, scarfy-necked furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great, how about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that, so you know where we are. You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Luka, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luka and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luka and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look, Nat, we don't know how we got here, Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weekwood. Or we teleported to some alternate universe. Or this is all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons. But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here, but the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. Oh! A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair, but a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry, well, you can leave that to this miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity, a revolution. A revolution, even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Luka and Iggy looked around uncomfortably. So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is to uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed.
Luka began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes darted back and forth in contemplation. With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home...
He sprinted off into the pale distance. As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out,
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simple head west through Weepwood. Crazy.
Chapter 6.
Okay, guys, I think I'm gonna call it there. Wow, this is getting really interesting. From what I understand, maybe Beacon Pines was already frozen, and somehow they replicated how it was before it got frozen. Huh. Interesting. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.